If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach, Christine McIver.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. So glad you're here with us tonight. I've got another dynamic show lined up for everyone who's joining us live. And if you are joining us in the replay, smart you, because this is going to be a good one. So last week on the show, I actually did Are You Online Dating with Money? And oh my gosh, that was so much fun for me, and I got so much awareness on our relationship with money and how we play with it and how we tickle it and hide from it and do all these amazing things. So if you're having issues with money, you may want to go catch that show. Now, before I jump into tonight's show, which is an amazing show, it's all about creating a resounding earth, and I have two wonderful women who are going to be my guests. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a possibilities coach, and I work with individuals and organizations to create more in their lives, whether they are having some place in their life, some place in their business where they're stuck, or where they want to create greater. That's what I do. I work with individuals. I have 25 years in human resources. I've been self-employed. I'm the owner of this amazing network. I am going to boast about it because I can. And I also, yes, ladies, you can giggle. It's okay. I'm also an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, a bars facilitator, an energy worker, a host, and a producer. I do a lot of different things, and I love playing in all different areas. I also just had a book that I co-created with 20 other authors that went global this week. It was actually on Sunday, and it was called Relationships Done Easy, and it's actually a bestseller. And so creating is so much fun for me, and I love to work with others to do the same. So if you're looking to create greater in your life, send me an email, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. I have a number of different programs. I would love to speak to you about them. So let's get into tonight, because I'm so excited I can be here. I'm trying not to talk too quickly so people can understand me, but I'm so excited. So creating a resounding earth. These two beautiful women, Heather Cowen and Gabriella Songbird, are here tonight. They are musicians and vibrational magicians. In various ways, they work with the consciousness of the earth through weaving music and sound into coherent fields of possibility, through the crafting of metal instruments in conscious creation with the elements and metals through classes and journeys to places and spaces they celebrate and co-create with the wonders of this resounding earth. Ladies, so grateful that you're here tonight. Thank you for being with me.
Christine,
it's
great pleasure. Would you say all of that again, please?
I'd love to. I can put it on a loop and I can just play it.
Oh, it's like music.
I have to tell everybody, I don't even know how we tripped across each other, how we found each other. I'm just so grateful that we did. But we've been having this conversation about having this show for at least 6 months or more. And so tonight is right?
More than that, actually, nearly a year. Yeah. Well, yeah, it started over a year ago, and it started actually in a dream.
Oh, right. Okay, so you're hearing the voice of Heather.
Yeah.
Oh,
do you want me to remind you? Would you like to know about that story?
Well, would our listeners like to know about it?
Well, I think it's pretty fun, actually.
Heather, go ahead.
Well, Gabriella and I had been listening to some music that we'd recorded a couple of years previous to this particular evening that we're talking about. And the music was called Fairy Trails, actually. It was commissioned for a German documentary filmmaker. And it was all about people who were interacting with elemental forces of the planet and fairies and all sorts. Anyway, this music was amazing. We absolutely loved it. But the guy that did the recording for us was using analog recording equipment, which we were really excited about, actually, because it would be, highly acoustic and authentic, we thought. But actually, he was using pretty It's a crazy story. But he was using really old gear. And so what happened in the editing department when we listened back to this amazing music, which was really co-created with the fairies as far as we're concerned, because it was so lively. We're listening back to it, and everything was a really, really strong hiss. There was nothing that had enough clarity that we could use it. So we were dumbfounded by this experience. So we kind of shelved it, and we listened to it for a long time on our own, and just had this wonderful experience of what a pleasure it was. And then a couple of years later, there we are saying, what would this music like to be? What would fairy trails like to be? Because we knew that it wanted to be shared with the world in some way, even though it's a little scratchy. So we're sitting there and we're listening to it again, and we're asking each single track, each single piece of music, where would you like to go? What would you like to do? So we had this fantastic idea come in, which you seem to be involved with, actually, Christine.
Wow.
We had this we thought it was a fantastic idea to set up something like an online interview or a podcast with a friend of ours, an amazing lady who lives in the States, in Virginia. She's called Terry. And we thought what we'd do is we'd let Terry hear this music live, unrecorded, unrehearsed for the first time, over a live interview, and see which place within all of the vast regions of every interdimensional possibility there is that the music would take her to, because she has this particular capacity to just read the energies and open the doorways and take people on these incredible places where stories emerge. So we went to bed that night pretty clear that we were going to invite Terry to do this interview with us and listen to the music. And what happened, sometime during the night, I woke up, my cell phone was next to my bed, and I picked it up, and I didn't clock that what I was looking at on the front of the cell phone was actually something that never happens, which is the inbox to my emails. And there was a message from you saying Christine McIver wants you to do a radio show, or she said, Christine McIver, would you like to host a radio show? And I just said, yes, I've always wanted to be a radio show. But I don't know, it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I, promptly got up, went to the loo, came back, forgot the phone, and then, went back to sleep again. And the morning happened a few hours later, and I looked at the phone, and there was nothing from you. And I'm like, how can this be? How can this be? Christine McIver, she sent me an email, because I'd gone to bed thinking, I want to be a radio show host.
And truth be told, this physical body did not send her an email. So magic, baby. Magic.
So we have the first magical story about the two of us coming together. We were already Facebook friends, and so I quickly sent you a message to say, email last night. And you said, no, but I was thinking about sending an email that was just like that. So shall we have a conversation? So here we are.
Here we are. Oh, my gosh. I'm so glad that we work magic together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, the three of us get on Skype together and we start giggling and laughing, and we could go on for hours. And I'm well aware of the time, and I want to share the juiciness of what you two are creating with music. And I know that we have some music lined up to play, but Gabriella, can you talk to us about how you and Heather began to do this work?
Yeah. Regards, I started doing this when I first lived in Scotland, in the very north of Scotland. And I was a gardener in a little retreat center, and I wanted to work with the nature spirit in the garden. And after a little while, I kept taking my cello out to play in the garden, and it was like what I was getting from nature was that actually they wanted me to create sound with them, music with them. And I had this experience of one day actually sensing or going through the countryside with my friend and introducing her to lots of different places, and the trees speaking and faces coming out of the trees and the landscape beginning to speak. And one day I was driving along the valley and the mountain actually looked at me, and it was so strong that I stopped the car and I stopped and I said, what can I do for you? as you do. And what I heard or sensed or felt was play for us. And I wasn't kind of like, oh, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I had this experience of like, oh, I'll just carry on and see. And there was this hawk sitting on a fence post waiting for me. And then it flew the next fence post and it waited for me and the next fence post and it flew back. And I followed it and I went back home and I took my cello out in the woods. I started playing and singing. And it was like the whole of the wood was joining in. And that was like the beginning of what I now call sound weaving. And it was like it was like all the voices from nature were joining me in creating music. And the feeling was that I was not just playing, but everything was playing. And the sounds that came out of the cello and out of my voice kept increasing and becoming more and more and more. And I received songs from nature, and I received, lots of sounds and songs. And it was the beginning of this work. And
this work.
Yeah, the sound.
Wow. So what year was that, Gabriella?
That was actually 2000, or it might have been 99 even, when that happened. And the year after, I think it was, I went to Iona, and it was like the island of Iona in Scotland was that actually launched me into having to share that. And it was like people, the nature spirits were asking me to share the music with other people, and to share it with people. And the sense was, whenever I did, so much happened for people that like weights would be lifted off them, or just things happened through the music and me getting out of the way of the music.
Gabriella, I can hear everybody saying, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Very cool. Let's hear it.
We are getting ready to go for break. And so we're going to play one of their pieces that we have lined up as our producers take us out to break. So we have Space of Becoming, Space of Being, and Space of Communion. Ladies, which one would you like us to play?
I think Space of Communion. Let's start with that.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, stay tuned. Sit back, enjoy, receive, and we'll be back right after this commercial break and this beautiful music.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions? Or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
I'm so glad we're finally back. That was way too long waiting to talk to you two. Oh my gosh, that music was so gorgeous. That was, just like Rhonda said in the chat room, it was exquisite. It is so, wow. And that was just an excerpt of that piece. Is that correct?
Yeah, just the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God.
And actually, that particular piece was the very last piece we played at the end of it. Was it 8 or 9 hour studio, an unusually extraordinarily special day of music making. That was the very last piece, but it was the very first piece that wanted to share itself with us tonight.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Okay, so ladies, you are both located right now in northern England, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
In the country in northern England, and what a gift, and I feel very, very special. You two stayed up so late to play with us live. Oh my gosh. I'm going to send you lots of yummy sleep energy when you're done tonight. Thank you. Now, ladies, what do you want people to know about your creations? What does the creations want us to know?
What a great question.
What a great question.
What a great question. You know, Gabri, I'm tempted to speak about the resonance rooms.
Go for it.
Yeah? Okay. So this piece of music that you had a tiny snippet of, and you know there was a little bit of a rude cut-off. I'm so sorry about that. But this piece of music came out of, well, it was a day about a year ago, a little bit earlier in the year than this. It was, we're up on the borders of the Lancashire and Yorkshire. What's it called? The Yorkshire Dales and moors, and the land was covered with snow, and we'd booked a recording studio, which is unusual. We do most of our work with the playing of music. We do most of it live, and all of it is completely spontaneous and very much as and when the space will move through us. So we'd booked this day in the recording studio, and quite honestly, the only thing that we can say about this day is that we got to the other end and were staggered by how much new material came through us with such ease, with such an immense amount of ease. We almost felt incomplete because there had been no work involved in anything. So this recording studio is owned by two beautiful young blokes. One of them used to do the recording engineering for Peter Gabriel of Real World, and the other one is a really, a shit-hot, what's it called, heavy metal drummer. I mean, these guys were just blown away. They had no idea what they were signing up for with A Day With Us. And it was just extraordinary because, we would look at them and they would have tears literally moving down their faces. And we were fairly awed by this day ourselves. But anyway, what really emerged was that when we went back into the studio the next day, we heard that there was nothing that could be lost, that absolutely nothing wanted to be deleted at all, and there was also nothing that we could really add to it. It was complete, and that was a bit of a shock, given that it was a recording studio. So anyway, we ended up traveling with this music, asking questions of it for the last 13 months. We had a sense that we had something really special. We had a sense that maybe it would be a couple of CDs, and we would release it in the right time. But meantime, let's just come to know it and get to enjoy it. But then over the year, as we were working more and more and more with our own bodies and the consciousness of our own bodies and the willingness to start to relate with our bodies and the earth in ever more consciousness, we'd be running body processes with each other using some energetic tools, access consciousness. We'd be traveling some very, very, very particularly beautiful landscapes up in northern Scotland. We were on a 6-week tour of the Highlands and the Islands of Scotland. And this music seemed to have the effect on the land that it was having on our bodies. Now, what does that mean? It's a very, very difficult thing to quantify, but what would occur would be that our experience of the music moving through us as we would listen to it while we were driving was that the land and the surroundings were how we were feeling within our own physical experience. And so... And we never got tired of it. It would only ever fill us up. So, we had this question, my God, are we completely egocentric? Is it just that we can only bear our own frequency? We could almost not, it's like really wanting to sleep with your lover as much as possible. We could not get enough of it.
FYI, there is nothing wrong with that.
No,
yeah.
I mean, really, it was really wrapping itself around us, wasn't it, Gabriella? Would you say?
It was like the land was receiving it and responding to it, and our bodies were like the cells of our bodies would respond to the music, and it would evolve. And I wanted to add actually that when we went into the recording studio, that we asked before we started recording, we asked for music to come through us that would assist the evolutionary journey of consciousness of the earth, that we invited the consciousness of the earth herself to co-create with us, and the consciousness of, I would say the cosmos, literally co-creating the music with us, weaving the strands of consciousness into the vibrational field that becomes known as music, but is alive. And we actually launched it yesterday. So it's now live. It's now out there, available. But I think Heather was going to talk about how it showed us that it wanted to become available.
Right, ladies, can I just say that I have this visual of you two driving down a country road through the hills, and you're in a small car. I have no idea what you drive, but I see a Volkswagen Bug. The two of you are in this, and as you're driving into kind of gray, overcast, dried up land, as you two drive in, everything becomes green and vibrant and alive. That is what's coming. And I'm telling you this is the God's truth. I usually sit back in my chair and relax because I'm at my computer so much. And literally just 2 seconds ago, I looked at my body, and I'm leaning in towards my computer, leaning on my hands like I am this little girl watching a play. And I know that I'm reflecting in words what everyone is experiencing. You two are such a delicious, refreshing energy. I'm captivated. I'm completely and totally captivated.
We laugh a lot.
Christine, I love that. I particularly love the image of the Volkswagen. I think you're actually being the nature beings, because actually we drive around in quite a large orange van. And we drive around in a large orange van because what's happening is we're actually carrying the equipment, not only the instruments, but we're carrying the heavy metal band, we call it, which is all of the hammers, the forge, the files, the tools, the metal, and all of the gear that we need to be able to teach people to make the instruments that we are working with all the time. So I love that.
Wow.
I love the idea of being in a small Volkswagen. That's very sexy.
So you two actually put on workshops and events where you teach people how to make these instruments?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, and when are you coming to Canada? 'Cause get over here. Can you get in a boat with all that equipment?
Well, we actually planning to come to the States, hopefully, over to in the autumn. And hey, what would it take to come to Canada?
Oh my, that would be sheer magic for me. I have wanted to be in Canada for such a long time. Wow.
Girls, let's hook this up. Let's do this. Okay. we are going to go.
Oh. Is she gone? Christine?
Can you hear me? Uh-oh,
yes.
What happened?
There you are.
Can you hear
You're
me?
Back.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Taken by the nature spirits.
Okay, we are going to go for our second break. And as we go for our second break, we're going to listen to the second piece that you've given us to listen to tonight. So will we be listening to a space of becoming or a space of being?
Becoming. That would be my choice, I think.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy, everyone. We'll be back shortly.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I'm so grateful that we finally created this show so that your music could be heard by more people. And I'm going to be very, very selfish and say I am so happy that I chose to listen again and again to my knowing. Reach out to the girls. Reach out to the girls.
Thank you.
This is so beautiful.
Yeah, thanks, Christine, so much. Really, it's
oh my gosh. You ladies are an amazing gift in the world, and I know that the show is going very, very quickly, and people are going to be wanting more. So right now, I want to talk to people about where they can get a hold of you, how they can connect with you after our show is over. So your website is peace-trails.com. Yes?
That's mine. That's
yours. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's one of them. We also have, oh my gosh, there's so much information here. I'm just like, Resounding. You can find both of you on Facebook at Resounding Earth, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Heather's website is fieldsofbeing.com. Is that correct, Heather?
That's it. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And we will have all of these links available in the information on the replay. So if someone, is listening and you want to come and get these replays, we will definitely have them in there for you. And I know near the end of the show, you're going to be sharing a special gift with all of our listeners tonight. So we're going to hold that back for a little bit. Not that I have to try to get them to stick around, because seriously, they're not going to want you to leave when this show's over. I'm just telling you.
Christine, can I just add also that there is one other website, which is the one that we share, which is the work of the singing bowls, actually. So it's called resoundingearth.org. That's
okay.
Another one probably worth just having there for people interested in that really fun work.
Okay, great. I will get that one up as well. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so ladies, where do we go from here? What else would you like to share with us?
Maybe we can talk about the creating of the instruments, since that's what we left off with before the break.
Perfect.
Actually, the forging of the bowls it feels like it's a continuation of weaving vibrational fields through the music. It's like when we craft a bowl, it's using the fire, the metal, working with the consciousness of the metal, working with the consciousness of the fire, the water, the earth, and everything that's involved, to invite a new vibrational field of possibility to come into form and literally become a new being that is a singing bowl, and that has a vibrational field which makes a sound, and each one is completely and utterly unique. And the creation of it is so beautiful, because literally as you're hammering and fire. And as you're hammering the balls in a spiral of creation, like a vortex of creation, spiraling in, spiraling out, spiraling in, spiraling out. And it literally is an act of creation where we connect with the molecules of the metal and invite it to receive the consciousness, to become more conscious, and to receive and co-create, really, a vibrational field that allows something new, a new tone to exist on the earth that hasn't been on the earth before. So that's, in a nutshell, what I feel happens during the making, the crafting of a singing bowl. And it's so wonderful to share this with people and to also make bowls for people, but also share this process with people where somebody can actually make their own and go through that process themselves. It's a really, really, really powerful experience.
So do you have people who already have some kind of interest or history in doing this, or do you have a lot of, I'm going to say virgins, come to your classes? A lot of virgins come. Okay.
A lot of virgins, but it seems to be addictive. So there's quite a lot of bowlaholics that come once and then they come again because it becomes such a powerful creative process that allows for.
It's kind of like just adding to that description that you brought in, Gabriella. There's this experience that a lot of people have, is that it's something of a birthing process. So we're very aware sometimes that there's this very precious threshold experience when something new wants to come into form. And it's not form that is bound in any way. It's not form that we're kind of aware of. It's being made for a specific purpose, and that's what it's for, and that's what it will always be. But it's very, very clear that through the process of the co-creation and the transformation that each person is going through in themselves, it's immense change happens for people in their own worlds as they're going through this, bringing in a new form of vibrational, vibrational reality, actually. Vibrational possibility, but it's more than possibility, because there it is. It's actually something that is going to endure. Now, it's not something you want to put words to, but this process of coming out of the fire and coming over and over again through the hammer and let's say the consciousness of a person, we are bringing in, it's like a midwifing process for us. We call ourselves, Gabriella and me, we call ourselves the midwives, because we're literally assisting somebody to bring something that has never existed before onto the planet, and it will actually bring forth its own vibrational field, which will impact the world around it. And that's, if I think about it too hard, it hurts my brain. It's just, but living through it constantly over and over again, to see and experience how the act of crafting sound can actually affect the environment and the people so directly gives us something of a sense of maybe how other things in the world are being created. It's something that words can actually cheapen in a funny sort of sense, but if you and the sounds themselves, these instruments, they are profoundly beautiful. They are so rich. One of the things that happens for me in my work with the midwifing of the bowl is I get to work very closely with the person as a midwife and facilitator of that. And sometimes I'm really privileged that they will ask me to just listen into their bowl at a certain point over the 3 or 4 days of the making. But it's a big process, 3 or 4 days, sometimes 5 days, and we're working constantly with the land and the consciousness of the space and this beautiful, beautiful earth. And they will offer me their bowl, and I'll sit with them under a tree or on the land, and we'll just go into a quiet space. And this bowl will quite literally start to bring forth an aspect of what's going on for that person that they had not found in themselves. And that piece will be received like a gift. Oh gosh, I wish I can give you an example of that if you want one. I don't know if we've got time for it.
Heather, you are conveying this so well. I have tears rolling down my face.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh my gosh. This is amazing. This is, and you've said it a couple of times, words actually are not describing it. What popped into my mind is it's like describing a birth of a baby.
Yeah.
The magic, if you've ever been present when a child has been born, and you're not the mother, but you're watching this birth in front of you, words are not required.
Yeah. And, Christine, actually, thank you for really getting it. This is the receiving that's available. You're receiving the energy of this process rather than having to process it in a thinking way. And that's really what it has taken us to. That place of receiving that we're all becoming just a tiny bit more aware of, that shows up over and over again. Last night when we were, Gabriella used the word launching, but actually what we did was we sat in a chat room, a Zoom room, with a group of what effectively turned out to be 11 of us. They happened in this instance to be all women. That's not usual. What happened was, as each of the women were listening to the first of what we're calling the 4 resonance rooms, which is part of the music that you've been hearing, we experienced that we were all in that place that I think women of long, long, long realms, ancient realms, have known, but very infrequently have the experience of visiting these days. And I realized that it's the place where death happens, and it's the place where birth happens. And each of them, if we're present with that level of stillness that is expecting nothing in particular from it, we are witness to something that that takes us to a new place of being, actually, in ourselves. And that's where I get the music, the sound, the vibrations, the work with our bodies, or the releasing with our bodies. This is where we're coming to recognize that actually there is more of us, the less of us will show up. Do you know what I mean? The less of the detritus will show up, the more of our ability to be present with what is. Something new can emerge. Something really new can emerge from that place.
So many of us in our lives, life is so loud and life is so busy, and there feels to be so much pressure and push, and there's a lot of fight energy, and all of that's going on. And what I'm experiencing tonight with listening to these excerpts and speaking to you, describing the unfolding of this with both of you, and what you're doing with others in the world, is that place where we desire to get to, but never seem to have enough time, never make enough time. And just these moments of listening to these has changed something in me. Today, for me personally, ladies, there were a lot of challenging moments for me in this day. And there was a lot of different energies that came up. There was anger and frustration and, using all of the tools, yes, and what you both have gifted me and my body right now has completely changed all of that.
Wow. That's wonderful to hear.
And I don't, we talk about what else we can do, and it's kind of like going down our checklist, but having the opportunity to just breathe and receive the gift of the music and the instruments and of the earth, whether it's 5 minutes or it's 4 or 5 days as you've described, there's so much richness. There's such a gift that we ignore and we push away, and it feels to me as you describe it that the music and the instruments and the earth so desires to contribute to us if we will just allow it.
Yes. That's it, exactly. Yes.
Oh, okay, we're going to listen to the third piece of music. We're not going to take a break after it, and we're going to come back right after this piece of music, and we're going to talk about the contribution you're going to give to all the listeners tonight, and we're going to finish out with whatever pops you'd like to speak to. So our last piece of music is The Space of Being. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Enjoy, everyone. Oh my God. Play it again. Play it again. Play it again. Play it again. Oh my gosh. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Everyone in the chat room. Everyone in the chat room. I'm telling you, we do these radio shows 3 days a week. We've been doing these radio shows for years. You two have just knocked it out of the park. I'm telling you.
Wow. We definitely didn't expect that.
Well, I'm so glad you did, because I love turning it up. Ladies, so we have just about 5 minutes left in this show. You have a special gift for all of our listeners. Do you, who would like to share that with them? I can...
Gabriella, you go ahead. I might add a surprise at the end. You go ahead and
Very good.
talk fast.
Yeah. Well, when we finally came to hear how this music that you've been listening to wanted to go out in the world and be shared, what we saw was it wanted to go out as 4 resonance rooms, 4 spaces that invite people into a new place of being. And the first resonance room is the space of communion. The second one is the space of creation. Third is the space of being, and the fourth is the space of becoming. So you've heard different pieces from these different rooms, and we have opened. They're finally up on our website as these 4 resonance rooms that you can actually receive as downloads. And we've made a special offer for Inspired Choices listeners for about a month, you can download them at a special discount and purchase them from our website, the Peace Trails website. Oh, beautiful! You've got it there. Posted it. Fantastic. And just put in when you get to the cart and you choose all of them as a bundle, and you put Inspired Choices as the promo code, and you get 10% off the whole. So
wonderful.
We hope you really enjoy.
Oh my gosh, how could they not? Seriously?
And create more with it. Yeah.
Please.
Well,
oh my God. Ladies.
Well, sorry, Christine, I'd just love to slip in.
Go ahead, honey.
How this music showed up was that we knew it just simply couldn't be CDs in the CD form, but we were being given images through the listening of people gathering, possibly all over the world. And I was willing to take silk cushions to village halls and a tape recorder, if that's what it took. But just create a soft space. Be comfortable with your bodies. Really open up. Let the music wash through you, with you, and over you. And let it be a space for receiving. That's what a resonance room is.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that, because that's exactly what it does. As we listen to this, that's what was occurring for me. It was washing over me.
Yeah.
Yes, and you can actually. We're doing attunements. We're doing 4 attunements on 4 different days for each of those to receive them. So if anybody wants to go to be part of that. Send us an email and send you the information.
And quickly, because I'm just having too much fun. I have to say it. I'm taking over the show. We have a very, 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 very special gift. It's just very exciting for us. It was recorded live and spontaneous in the crypt at Roslin Chapel in Edinburgh last year at the end of this experience. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. What happened was the two of us came to...
We have 1 minute. You've got to go fast, honey.
Okay, so if you send us your emails, we will be able to send you this as a gift, this 7 minutes of pure
magic
that we're calling it Roslyn Angels.
Okay, anybody listening, send an email to myself, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. I will get it to these ladies. Oh my God, how did we get so lucky? And ladies, you have got to consider coming on as hosts. The change that you have created for me and all of the people in the chat room is off the chain. What would it take to have this beautiful music be out there even more? The change you are creating in the world, I am so grateful. I am so grateful for everyone that's been here. Please, 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 ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, if this moved you in any way, go and purchase this music. It's phenomenal. Ladies, go have a gorgeous sleep tonight. I love and adore both of you. I am sending you yummy juju all across the pond. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for staying with us tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.